totals are in, the doors are locked, they're done. So I moved out here because I didn't want to get locked in for the rest of the night. I wanted to let you know what's going on. The driver of this truck stalled out on the tracks. It was a very scary moment, but miraculously, there are no injuries. Very active still. 2 ambulances just drove up not even 2 minutes ago. They're still on the scene working. When I went to the house, it looked like there was some broken glass, broken furniture, and a threatening note caused the Macy's Logistics Center in Martinsburg to be evacuated on Saturday night. But authorities say it's all clear now. Thanks to the newly built security desk, people say that they feel safer now that they know that their surveillance is a bit tighter. These doors are now closed, leaving plenty of parents in a tough spot. Out in the field bringing you more information as the storm continues. We go first to WDVM Stephanie Dupre, who is live in Public Square in Hagerstown. Stephanie, how did the roads look? What's interesting to me about these letters is that the inmates are saying they're concerned about the safety, health, and well-being of the officers hired to patrol them. Now, I spoke with an officer who works at one of these Maryland state prisons, and he told me what it's like to work inside one of these facilities.
Just not safe.
Not something you want to think of when it comes to your work environment, but this Maryland correctional officer says it's his reality. There are thousands of inmates behind bars here at the Maryland Correctional Training Center, but correctional officers here and across the state are saying they're starting to feel like prisoners too.
A lot of guys are, like you said, 80 hours a week, and some of them can barely keep their eyes open. They're worn out, they're dragging.
An anonymous source spoke with WDVM saying with over 2,000 inmates but less than 100 officers on shift, he fears for his life.
And we do what we can, but when you're only supplied with a radio and a small can of pepper spray and handcuffs, that's it.
Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services Secretary Stephen Moyer says, quote, no correctional facility is short-staffed, and in fact, every critical position is filled 24/7. Our source said he expected this response.
Of course, you're going to have to, you've got the facility fully staffed, but they're on overtime. They're working, past their 40 hours a week.
Which has even caught the attention of the inmates.
These inmates know that we're overworked, make jokes that we must have mattresses laying around somewhere, that we don't even go home anymore.
Governor Larry Hogan is providing several incentives to bring in more officers, including a $5,000 new hire bonus and a recently announced college loans assistance program, to which officers respond,
we're all saying it's smoke and mirrors. It shows a good front, but we're the ones keeping them behind these fences, and that's our lives on the line too.
Now, the person I spoke with said that they think even if immediate action is taken, nothing will really change for another 2 to 3 years, but they're holding out hope. For now, I'm Aliah Williamson reporting in the control room. Back to you, Thusmeen. That's right, Thusmeen. I spoke with one family that says they didn't even get 24 hours notice of the shutdown, but the reason why it got shut down, this mom says, is justified after the terrifying moment. Take a look. It's a parent's nightmare.
In the pool, he was wet from the waist down, and then as the owner of the home walked out, he was just putting his face into the water. So thank God nothing happened to him.
On July 16th, an unnamed toddler left the property of Bright Beginnings Child Care of WAYNESBORO, and after an investigation, state officials shut it down. This sign right here says that Bright Beginnings Child Care has earned 3 stars for their commitment to maintaining compliance with program regulations. But after an incident earlier this month, these doors are now closed, leaving plenty of parents in a tough spot.
When we showed up to the daycare, they pretty much told us we're shutting down today. You have to find another daycare. There's so many parents out there right now, like not with daycares, because everyone is at full capacity right now.
But what led to this moment?
They were unloading groceries, and they got out the back door and I guess walked 0.02 miles to another house and ended up in their pool.
Documents say the child had to cross a street that often has large construction vehicles on it, and officials are also concerned that the owners were not upfront about when and how long the child was missing.
This isn't their first time getting reported. I think it makes it even scarier for parents.
Parents say they also noticed the daycare center was understaffed, with one teacher sometimes having a class of 12 or more children. And with kids that age,
2-year-olds are very spontaneous, we'll put it that way. They do what they want when they want.
They think child care providers should be more vigilant.
Why didn't somebody notice him as soon as he walked out the door?
As for what's next,
do you think they'll be sending back?
No.
If they do reopen?
No.
Now, the parent told me that the teacher of the class that the little boy escaped from was actually off of work that day, so she doesn't blame her for the mishap and actually feels bad for her losing her job in this way. We also reached out to the owners, Mike and April Hanasek, but got no response. Reporting in the studio, Aliah Williamson, WDVM News. Burying something is never easy.
We are symbolically laying to rest those things that act as triggers to our addictions.
But for these people, burying their pain and suffering is the first step towards their new life. The Jefferson County community gathered here today to say their final goodbyes to a life of addiction. This is the third year the Jefferson County Day Report Center held their rock burial ceremony.
Kind of design rocks, paint rocks, and put things on it that we wanted to bury, get rid of, and put our past behind.
It's different from a traditional completion or graduation ceremony.
In recovery, graduation is not a good word to use. We continue fighting with the disease of addiction.
I am the devil inside, I am your disease. I will take over your thoughts and even your soul. I'll have all control.
For Brittany Lineberry, she says she understands the pull of the disease all too well.
Basically, my disease affects me every day. I wake up in the morning and there's some mornings where I'm happy, I want to get out of bed, and then there's other days where I'm like, man, just one more time would be, but then that one more time could be my last.
So instead of being buried, she buries her triggers and addictions with her recovery community.
Actually be able to write something down, put it on something, and actually be able to bury it and let it go, it takes a huge weight off my shoulders.
So now she can move forward in her life a bit more easily.
But I pray for it every day that I can continue to work forward and get my goal, which is to live a happy life as a recovering addict.
This year's ceremony was hosted by the mayor of Bolivar, and next year the responsibilities will fall on another Jefferson County mayor. Reporting in Bolivar, Aliah Williamson, WDVM News.